Each person experiences bad things. This part of life. Usually such a bad event disappears from your mind after a while. If people experience a shocking event, they can develop short-term post-traumatic stress complaints. This is a common response. Most people can handle a shocking event well, with the support of the environment. But some experiences are so shocking that you can hardly forget them. About 10% of them develop PTSD, a post-traumatic stress disorder. In this video, I discuss PTSD topic. I will answer different questions about PTSD I hear often from my patients, and I will clear up the most common misconceptions about PTSD. Before we start, make sure you have subscribed to my channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss my new videos on mental health, psychology and empowerment, which I post every Friday. PTSD is a recognized mental health problem that has been studied for many years. It can develop at any time after a traumatic event. The symptoms may start soon after the event, or you may not have them until months or years later. The trauma has taught your mind and body that bad things can happen. It's normal to feel scared or anxious for some time afterwards. You might notice your heart racing, you feel sweaty or feel shaky. Memories of your trauma can pop unwanted into your mind. We call them flashbacks. It can feel like the trauma is happening again right now. You can experience flashbacks of sights, sounds, smells, tastes, or body feelings. You might find that you are quick to notice anything or anyone that could hurt you. After a trauma, your brain is programmed to stay watchful just in case there is more that could hurt you. After you have been hurt by others, it can be very difficult to trust anyone, even if there are not the same people who hurt you. You might feel uncomfortable being around other people. After being hurt, you might want to avoid things that remind you of what happened. It can be different people, places, thoughts, memories of sounds, or even smells. Many people blame themselves for what happened to them, even though it's clear it wasn't their fault. You might find yourself thinking about ways that you could have prevented it. It's also possible that you experience dissociations. Dissociation means feeling strangely separate from your body or the world. During a trauma, your body may automatically freeze and your mind may go somewhere else. This can still happen after trauma too. You might find that you get frustrated or lose your temper easily. You might feel annoyed by the way that other people behave, or you may get angry at yourself. Having bad dreams or nightmares about your trauma is common as well. You might find it difficult to get to sleep, or you might wake up in the night. You might feel strong feelings in your body like headaches, stomach aches, or other unexplained pains. You can experience feelings like you had during your trauma. You might feel sad about the things that have happened to you or feel hopeless about your future. You might even feel sad without even knowing why. When you experience something like this, it can completely disrupt your life. Before the traumatic event, you probably hardly even thought that your life could all go different in one fell swoop. You felt safe and in control of your own life. But during the traumatic event, you had nothing to say about your life. You were powerless, vulnerable, and terrified. At the time of event, you might not feel or think anything at all. You were only concerned with your surviving. There are many myths and misconceptions about post-traumatic stress disorder. Many people still think that PTSD affects only military veterans who have experienced war-related trauma. This belief is understandable because trauma studies began after observing soldiers in both world wars. In fact, anyone who has seen or experienced a traumatic event can develop PTSD. PTSD can affect people who have been through sexual assault, domestic abuse, childhood neglect or abuse, people who have experienced car accidents, national disasters, or terrorist attacks. First responders such as police, doctors, and firefighters can also develop PTSD. Another belief is that PTSD means you are dangerous. In reality, people with PTSD who become violent are in the minority. According to researchers, less than 8% commit violent behavior. Most people affected by PTSD tend to show avoidance symptoms, and they are in a greater danger to themselves than to others. People with PTSD may experience lack of understanding from their environment. It's been often suggested that PTSD does not exist or PTSD means you are weak. In this case, I would like to say, if you have a broken leg, you go to the doctor and get a cast. No one says, go to dance now. PTSD is like that. In addition, PTSD is a serious condition. It's brain's natural response to trauma you have no control over. It's nothing close to weakness or feeling guilty about. My patients ask me often, if trauma happened long ago, why am I not over it? I should be able to move on already. If you are suffering from trauma, it can take a long time to recover. Furthermore, the majority of PTSD cases will not resolve on their own. Some people suffer for decades before they seek help. It's possible to develop PTSD years later after a traumatic experience. For example, someone could experience a childhood trauma and never process it. It could be something they never talked about, and then something happens during their adulthood to trigger that memory, and as a result, symptoms of PTSD will pop up. People can function in a survival mode very long. Sometimes they begin to feel sad, or they are drinking too much or fighting with their spouse, but can't figure out why these issues persist, and they have a good life now. Another belief is that people with PTSD cannot function at all. Yes, PTSD can cause severe symptoms, but many people who have PTSD can have jobs and relationships. When you have PTSD, it may feel like you will never get your life back. It takes time to recover from such an event. You process the event slowly and resume the thread of daily life. How long such processing takes is different for everyone, but PTSD can be treated. PTSD therapy has three main goals: improve your symptoms, teach you skills to deal with it, and restore your self-esteem. There are several evidence-based treatments for PTSD. EMDR is one of the most researched and effective treatments for PTSD. Here you might not have to tell your therapist very extensive about your experience. Instead, you concentrate on the disturbing memory while you watch or listen to something your therapist is doing. It can be following a hand, a light bulb, or listening to a sound. I have already made 2 videos about EMDR therapy. The links you can find below in the description. Another effective treatment is trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy. This is a form of cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, specifically adapted for PTSD. Trauma-focused CBT is one of the most effective types of treatment for trauma-based disorders, particularly in adolescents and children. It aims to help you make sense of bad memories associated with your trauma. You may feel guilt or shame about your trauma, and a therapist would help you re-examine why you feel this way. Next is exposure therapy. This type of psychotherapy involves facing and controlling your fears. This means that a therapist could expose you to your trauma by using mental imagery of the trauma. Psychotherapy could take place one-on-one with a psychiatrist or psychologist or in a group setting. You might use relaxation or emotional management skills. A therapist may also provide you with sleep, diet, activity tips to help you change your living habits. Several types of drugs affect the chemistry in your brain related to fear and anxiety. Medications can make PTSD symptoms get less intense and more manageable. Therapy, medicines, and support can all help people to adjust and to enjoy life again. If you want to know more about psychotrauma and PTSD, watch my other video. I'd like to hear from you in the comments below, on my Instagram or Facebook page. But before you go, don't forget to subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and give this video a thumbs up. Take care. See you soon.